All right, ladies and gentlemen, the moment we've been waiting for. It's time to go racing on the Roval. Cameron Martin and Alberto Alvarez have the front row. Jordan Wenzel and Adrian Borden on the second row. Kirk Marble, Justin Swafford on the third. Clay Kirchenbauer, Colby Whipple on the fourth. Jacob Morgan and Cody Kennedy round out the top 10. Richard Cragen starting in 11 next to Tyler Aunt in 12th. Vic Brown in 13th. Ryan McDaniel starting in 14th. Vern Spring in 15th. Bradley James in 16th. Jacob Morgan, starts in 17th. I had the nicknames wrong there. Brian Hewitt starts in 9th. Jacob Morgan starting in 17th. Jade Briette in 18th. Eric W. in 19th. And David Lux in 20th. Aaron Brill starting in 21st. And Chris Melton rounds out the 22-car field here at the Roval. And of course, Road Racing will have the track map up with the car numbers so you can find your favorite driver out here on the track. Everybody getting lined up, just a couple cars left to get on the grid. Things definitely about to get exciting out here on the Roval. Does look like we're going to get a full pace lap around this 2.28 mile track. 16 turns. And a few spots really treacherous. We'll talk about them as they come around. Turn 1 will get exciting both at lap 1, probably lap 2, and when we have the restart after the competition caution at lap 15. Things will get hairy through that turn. Everybody trying to send it in there, pick up some spots in the early going. Very easy place to pick up some spots, very easy place to make a lot of mistakes and cost yourself a race. This short little straightaway into this right-hander, but after this right-hander, you start up the hill. This is where we were talking about earlier. The car gets majorly unsettled. You get to the top of this hill, the car is getting light, you're turning right, head back downhill into an immediate left-hander, and that can really upset the car. Plus, the bump out onto the banking can send a car around. Then you got the bus stop on the back straightaway. This is a tricky comurse.
It is. I expect a lot of chaos coming into that chicane on the back straight, and then especially into the chicane on the coming to the start-finish line.
Yeah, and I fully expect, we saw it a lot in practice, but I do fully expect some of these drivers are likely going to miss that chicane. They're coming down the front straightaway. And we'll see a lot of slowdown penalties come into the start-finish line in the first few laps.
Yep. No, I definitely expect there to be a lot of slowdowns tonight, but I also do expect a really great battle up here at the front because I really think that Cameron, Alberto, and why am I forgetting? Jordan, sorry. I was getting him mixed up with Adrian for a second. I expect there to be a really good battle up here at the front.
I definitely think there will, and some of these drivers further back who just didn't qualify do have a habit of sneaking their way forward on the road courses, so you never know. We could see somebody come from way in the back to pull off the win. Time will tell. In about 45 laps, we'll see who's in victory lane. The Porsche pace car getting ready to head to pit road. They will come through that final chicane. And we will get the green flag here at Charlotte. Pace car is into the final chicane they go. Cameron out front. Out of the final turn, green flag is in the air. There's a car around on the front. It was Alvarez.
Oh boy.
That's a
he changed it. Oh, and we got a wreck behind him coming into turn 1.
Holy cow, we had a wreck in front of him, a wreck behind. Cars trying to sneak through, pileups everywhere. But Cameron Martineau, 3-second lead when he gets to the back straightaway.
Yeah, he's going to pull away, but just keep in mind, we do have that competition caution, so even if he does start to pull away here throughout the first 15 laps, they will get bunched back up and they will try again.
Yeah, we talked about it prior to the race that turn 1 would get exciting. Man, it got exciting right from the drop of the green.
It didn't disappoint. Yeah, I was very surprised to see Alberto make a mistake there.
Jacob Morgan already up 7 spots into 10th place. He is the biggest mover. Just managed to come through all the chaos. Cameron Martin coming out of the bus stop. He will come around to complete lap 1. Once he does, we're going to look through some of the lap 1 incidents, of which there were quite a few. And Cameron does lead lap number 1. Let's take a look at the replay. There's Alberto Alvarez as he comes through the final chicane to the start-finish line. Just gets on the power, snaps around, uses the car next to him, and wow, the 11 car shoots by on the high side, but then goes around in turn 1, and chaos as they pile in back behind. See if we can get a different camera angle on this. Is Jordan Wetzel in the 81, he gets caught up in this chaos. It looks like he may have got into the 11 and everybody just piles in back behind. Wow, what a mess. Richard Cragen caught up in that as well as several others. Well, that was a bumpy start.
That was definitely a bumpy start. I mean, it looked like the 81 started, he lost it there, and it looked like he was going to take Adrian out, but then Adrian kind of got back on the gas, so Adrian's in a good spot right now. Looks like he's back to, fourth position, I believe. So it didn't really affect Adrian too bad, but that was quite a hit that the 81 took from Richard Cragen. So we'll see if he's going to be able to recover with that competition caution later, because he was awfully fast earlier.
Hopefully so. It looks like both. Trying to remember nicknames now. Looks like both Brian Hewitt and Cody Kennedy have had a problem, and now Eric W. will take a quick look at those 3 incidents. Here we go. Brian Hewitt in the 19 and heads out to the banking. We talked about right there, just before the banking, that part of the track very slick. Gets it wound up, everybody gets by. Then Cody Kennedy as he comes across the start-finish line. Gets into turn 1 a little too hot on the brakes. He goes around. And finally, Eric W. coming out of that final chicane. He's on the power, looks like headed into turn 1. He just overshoots the turn and slams Bob Ross into the wall. That probably did. I don't think Bob Ross enjoyed that.
I don't think he did. I painted that car, so I almost think Bob would have a little frowny face on there. Not so happy face, or whatever the heck Bob Ross would say.
It's not a happy little car at the moment. Severe damage. I think that is the most damaged car we've seen so far. Despite several drivers being caught up in incidents, most everybody damage is minimal or non-existent.
He should be able to get that fixed plenty fine. They've got 2 fast repairs, so he'll be able to get that on the competition caution, and we get that coming to lap 15.
Jordan moving back toward the front. He dropped way outside the top 10, is now marched back into the top 10 and making his way toward the front. Jacob Morgan also still holds on to 11th. Vern Spring and Ryan McDaniel battling for 12th. Vern gets by. Vern actually quite a road racer, so he'll be one to watch as well.
They've got a nice little battle going on back there, and I'm also looking up a little bit more towards like the 3, 4, 5 spot. We got a nice little battle for those positions between Clay Kirkenbauer and Adrian Bourdon and Kirk Marble, and we got Justin Swafford hanging out there back there as well. Ooh, Adrian just had a close call.
Kirk gave him a little love tap. Adrian loses it on the power. Kirk slides by. And Justin Swafford, he sneaks by as well and actually gets a line on the inside of Kirk, but can't complete it yet.
I was going to say, I saw Justin hanging out back there, and I was wondering if he was going to wait for them to make a mistake while they're battling each other, and he capitalized on that and gained position on Adrian. But I thought that was, especially like I mentioned earlier, where that turn funnels down, it can get pretty dangerous for other cars around there.
Definitely can. Hey, good evening, Edmund. How are you, buddy? Eric has brought the car into pit road. Meanwhile, out front, Cameron just set the fastest lap, a 1:20.40, 0.3 of a second faster than Alberto in his lead. You know he is going to hate the comp caution. His lead is now 4.7 seconds.
Yeah, he's got a dominating lead right now, but as long as he can hold off Alberto on the competition caution restart, I think Cameron's gonna get this. Like I said, he's one of my big picks for this race because, I mean, I just think a 6,500 I rating for a road course speaks for itself. I've done a lot of Formula racing with guys who are in the 6,500 range, and I mean that's like borderline alien right there.
Well, it definitely is. I'd like to see him get in the Sunday morning GT3 and SS. And rumor had it you were going to join us on Sunday mornings. What happened to that?
You know, it's nothing's happened quite yet. My problem. I mean, I guess I could be honest about it. I have these little gummies I take before bed that help me go to sleep.
I got you.
And I typically am not able to come around until about 9 a.m. my time. And those races start at about 8 a.m. my time. So it's a little bit early, but one of these days when I see a track on the schedule that I really like, I think I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give it a shot. And also when my ankle's healed up too.
Yeah, you got to wait for that, but I know they'll love to have you. It'll be fun to see you out there. Justin Swafford now up in 5th. Kirk Marble managed to check out and is actually starting to reel in Clay. But Clay in 3rd place, having a great run. He is still 12.3 seconds behind Alberto. I think this is a 2-horse race here tonight.
I think it is, but as I mentioned before the broadcast, Clay, you know, he's in a good spot right now in 3rd place. It's going to be a good points night for him if he can maintain just anywhere in the top 5, because that'll keep him solidly in the top 3. It's very bunched up there with him and Kirk and Alberto, so as long as he can hang on to that spot, I think he's in a good position. He's got Kirk behind him. I know, like I said, Kirk's really fast on road courses. Kirk can be sometimes a little bit prone to mistakes, but also, like I said, he's really fast. So he's got to watch his tail right now because he's definitely coming up on him.
Kirk and Cody were racing on Sunday mornings for a while. They both raced the BMWs, and man, I got to tell you, everywhere they went, they were fast except for Coda. Both of them just kept spinning out and running into each other the whole time they were at Coda, but both of them definitely know how to get it done on a road course.
Well, I'll tell you right now, even if I woke up at 6 o'clock in the morning and full of energy, I wouldn't want to race Coda. Because Coda is a very, very tough course. That's the thing. A track like this isn't too bad, but if we decided to go to Coda, I would grimace a little bit. It is one of my least favorite tracks.
I kind of agree with you on that one. It's right behind this one. Like I said at the start, not a fan of driving it, but love broadcasting here because it does put on one heck of a show. You saw it as Cameron came through turn 2, just how hard they're pushing it. They go right out there and just you can't fit a piece of paper between them and the wall when they're pushing it. Bradley James had an off track a moment ago, and it looks like,
ooh, Eric Walkowiak is in the wall in turn 1.
and Jacob Morgan had a problem a moment ago. He is running again. Let's take a quick look at Jacob and Eric. There's Jacob Morgan coming down the back straightaway toward that bus stop. Oh, Jacob just gets the turtles there, or the sausage rather, extraordinarily hard and flies it into the wall. Let's take a look at what happened with Eric. Oh, Eric just overshot. We talked about it during pre-race, the slowdown. He overshot that final chicane, and David Lux has had a problem. Lux also coming out of the final chicane, although I do like Lux's paint scheme. His hood looks extremely good. He shoots it into turn 1, just overshoots it. Gets it going quickly though. Well, we're starting to see, I think we might be seeing a little bit of tire wear. This is a low downforce setup on these cars, so they don't have a lot of air grip, even with a high downforce on a road course. In these type of cars, the downforce doesn't make a lot of difference, and you wear the tires very quickly.
Yeah, it's not only the tire wear, but the track temp has picked up a couple degrees too, so those two combined will definitely make it a little bit harder to control.
Yeah, track temperature has come up a little bit since qualifying. Throughout the track, though, certain parts of this track just get greasy very, very quickly. And so those points in the track where you're on the brakes extremely hard. Get a lot of rubber laid down from the braking.
Yep. Back further to the field here, just trying to see things going on. Looks like Cameron's coming up on some lap traffic here.
Eric is around again. Jade Briette had an issue a moment ago as well. I bet they will be glad when lap 15 gets here. Let's take a quick look. There is Jade. Oh! Jacob Morgan slams that outside wall in turn 3. Jade just hits the rumble strips wrong. Goes around. He quickly recovers. And then Eric, with the newly repaired car, he's coming up the hill, right where we've talked about so much tonight. Upsets the car at the top, sends him around, plus it gets a little greasy right there.
Yeah, that top of the hill can get pretty treacherous right there. You can just hit the outside wall, or the other way you can go is you can just go skate through the grass and hit that the wall to the other side. Have you seen the configuration that they're going to be running for this year's race, Doug?
No, I have not.
Yeah, they've changed the configuration for the Roval this year, so it's actually going to be that. It's going to be that right-hander going to a left-hand hairpin, and then it's going to come back to another hairpin, and then come back out on the track. So it's going to be a different configuration this year for the Cup guys. So it looks much more challenging.
Sounds much more challenging. I'll definitely have to take a look at that, but that's going to be ugly. Hey, good evening, Richie. How are you, buddy? Richie, another very good road racer, but power out, internet, or well, he's got power back, but I think he's still without internet, and he has had a rough week, and our thoughts and prayers with, holy cow, our thoughts and prayers with everybody impacted by the hurricane, and Vern has problems. He held up several cars.
Yeah, I just saw that instant. He came off the track there out of just the turn that we were talking about, right where Eric came off too, except he went the other way that I was talking about.
Yep, and it did manage to catch him and caught the leader. Did allow Alberto to gain a second, but wow, there is a mess right back there and a bunch of lap cars. There was a car up in the wall, I believe, Vic Brown. They are 3 wide
Oh boy.
Fairly normal on the oval, but
Wow.
not on the Roval. And wow, what a move by Alberto.
That's quite a move there on Jacobs, just diving in there, getting into the chicane. Like I said, I was watching Alberto come through that chicane in practice. That's one of the harder turns I've had to deal with throughout the week while I've been running, or before my whole incident when I was practicing. That was one of the toughest turns I had to tame, and Alberto's got that turned down.
Yeah, he definitely does. And man, what a drive through. That while he was battling, Cameron managed to open up another 1 second gap. Kirk Marble has now moved into third. Clay has actually dropped back to sixth.
I didn't see what happened to Clay. I wonder what happened.
It looks like Clay has just been losing positions here and there. His lap time's still pretty steady. As Swafford battles with Adrian side by... Man, this is going to be quite a fight between these two. Oh, Swafford locks it up to avoid getting into Adrian.
Oh boy. Yeah, this is a good battle between these two. Very, very equally paired up right here, especially, you know, because you got the leaders pulling away, but it's really always good to see these battles back here for position in third and fourth.
Well, and the thing I've always noticed about Swafford, he's not going to push the issue. He's going to sit on your bumper and force you to make a mistake. Is it looks like Alberto has gone to pit road.
Yeah, I was expecting a few of these guys to pit a little bit early because some guys are probably going to try and stay out for the yellow flag coming up here soon for the competition caution. So some guys are going to definitely come in to the pits, get top off on fuel. Maybe some might even take some tires. Probably not a bad call because we are going to be having the pits closed here coming to when the leader crosses the line here for lap 14, the pits will close, and then, as mentioned, there will be a competition caution at lap 15. So it might be a smart move of Alberto and some other guys here. You can see Adrian, his teammate, also coming into pit road. It could be a smart call for them to stay there because a lot of guys will dive into pit road, and they'll get those positions back, and they'll be able to maintain where they were before the competition caution out there.
Well, it is worth noting they can go anywhere from 15 to 17 laps on a tank of fuel. One or two drivers might be able to go to 18. It's a bit of a long shot, but, you know, they're going to do the second part of this race on a single pit stop, as it looks like Cameron now headed in as well. He did pick up bonus points for leading a lap, and Kirk Marble may get to lead a lap here in a moment.
Yeah, if you don't mind real quick, Doug, I got to step away because I actually have been assigned a few race control duties for this competition caution, so I will be right back.
All right, buddy. Patrick taking care of race control duties. Vic Brown had an incident a few laps ago. We'll take a quick look at that. There's Vic. We saw him with that 3 wide. Through NASCAR 3 and 4. Oh, Vic just locks him up. Overshoots entry. Does get it rolling again. And we saw a little bit of the issue earlier where everybody stacked up behind Vern Spring. There you see in that right-hander coming up the hill. He just barely missed getting into that wall. The grass is like driving on ice. It's so hard to get the car going. And there's the leader, some of the lap cars, everybody stacks up behind. Hey, good evening, David. How are you, buddy? So Kirk Marble currently in the lead. Several drivers have taken advantage and gone to pit road. Oh, some of them were coming in, but pit lane just closed, and the caution has come out. Brian Hewitt had a problem a moment ago. Looking to see if we had any more. No, it just looks like Hewitt. Let's take a quick look. There's Hewitt coming through that final chicane on the gas and back toward turn 1. Seen countless problems here tonight, just overshoots, gets into that barricade, but gets it rolling again very, very quickly. Well, the first 15 laps are in the book, folks. Let's hear some comments in the, or some, let's get some input from you folks in the comments. Who you think's going to pull this one off tonight? And will we see chaos in turn 1 again?
I think they're going to mind their behavior a little bit on this restart here, and I think they've kind of learned their lesson from that last one. They're going to play it safe, I feel like. So hopefully we don't see a stack up there, so we can hopefully see some good racing here on the restart to lead through the rest of the race.
Okay, these are race car drivers, Tia. Do they ever really learn their lessons? And silence. Clay currently sitting back in 9th there, David. A rough start for Clay. He had actually moved up into the top 5 and looked like he was going to have a good run, but then just started slipping back a little bit. Hopefully some fresh tires and a little strategy will go his way. Some big movers. Tyler Ott up 6 spots into 12th. David Lux up 8 spots. Tyler Ott up 6 spots into 6th. David Lux up 8 spots into 12th. Aaron Brill up 7 spots into 14th. Swafford now in 4th. Whipple in 5th, but looks like we're going to see a lot of guys on pit road here in a moment. Alberto Alvarez, Cameron Martineau, Adrian Bourdon, Jordan Wenzel, and Clay all have already been to pit road, as has Bradley James. Some of the guys way at the back have also completed stops, but the rest of the field is coming in. Looks like Ryan McDaniel may likely get the wave around, get a lap back here. Yes, he does.
I was a little surprised to see Cameron go into the pits.
He did go back in, didn't he?
Yeah, I don't know if he just wanted to top off a little bit more, but I mean, he had good track position there. I'm not exactly sure why he came in.
Well, it was a quick stop, fuel only. He is not the only one to come in for fuel only. Jordan Wenzel took fuel only, as did Tyler Ott.
I think this puts Alberto in a great position right now, because, I mean, I know that Cameron's really fast, but he's going to have to work his way through a few cars here. Like I said, if Alberto can hit his marks and keep being consistent, this could work out really well for Alberto to stay out.
It definitely could if Alberto gets away here early.
Well, Alberto's also got his teammate right behind him, too, so that could play into a factor as well.
It definitely could, although you have to wonder, Adrian had a very rough start to this race, got bumped right at the start-finish line, got hit into turn 1, has had a few other bumps along the way. You know he's probably driving a bit angry.
A little bit. I mean, Alberto, too, he jumped that restart a little bit earlier, and he got a little bit loose, and he got into... I want to say it was Jordan, I think he got into the door of. So we'll see. And then also, I mean, I'm not sure where Jordan Wenzel is at right now on the standings. Let's take a look here. It looks like he's down there in 10th. And he was very quick, too. So that's another person to keep an eye on here on this restart. If they don't have trouble, he could start working his way up through the pack as well.
Well, you know, one of the things here, some of these faster guys talking like Adrian and a few of the others that got caught up in those early incidents, pushed back, they do get a little bit frustrated, and when you get frustrated, you start making really simple mistakes, and that's why under this caution, these guys have to take a deep breath, focus up, and get ready, so this doesn't turn into the last 50 laps of last night's race.
Yeah, I didn't catch that, but according to you, that was pretty wild. But I don't think anybody in this league is really
No, I don't.
I'd really out over their head, especially on road courses.
No.
I think a lot of these guys take road courses not too seriously.
Definitely not, but I definitely wanted to plug last night's race. You guys haven't seen it, just fast forward to go to our YouTube channel, find last night's XCOM race at the Charlotte Legends Oval, and just fast forward to lap 350. That last 50 laps, you're going to love it.
I think I'm going to do that after this race. I'm going to have to watch that now. Because I think when I left you a comment last night where I said I was going to be sick if I did this more than 100 laps. That's where I was watching. That's where I stopped. But I think I'm going to watch that last 50 laps after this one.
Yeah, we actually make a point of not showing very many in-car replays because we don't want people at home getting sick. But I do, every race we try and do an in-car view so the folks at home can see what the track is like, what it's like to drive it. Last night we could only do about 3 laps though, because honestly, I think my sister and some of my daughters would have gotten motion sickness watching that.
Yeah, that whole deal reminded me. There was an episode of Beavis and Butthead a very long time ago where they got stuck in a laundry machine. I don't know. I don't know if you ever saw that one or if it sticks out in your mind at all, but it doesn't mind because
something about it does stick out.
Anytime you get full-size cars on a Legends track, it just reminds me of that episode of Beavis and Butthead where they're in a washing machine and there's people looking at them from the outside and it shows their inside perspective going upside down and spinning around.
What, you always hear Bristol people talk about driving at Bristol is like driving in a bathtub, but one of the driver owners last night actually said driving the Legends Oval here is like driving in a blender.
Yep.
Especially in a full-size car. Lights are out. We're about to go back to green. Things about to get a little shook up here. Alberto and Adrian on the front row. Clay and Richard Cragen now up on the second row. Wenzel and Cameron on the third row. Tyler Ott, Kirk Martle on the fourth. Justin Swalford and Colby Whipple round out the top 10. And that last line there, Swalford and Whipple, that's a couple of sleepers here on the road course.
Yeah, because they're going to be back there, and they've got, like I said, with Cameron and Jordan back there, and I believe it looks like 5th and 6th. Expect them to kind of battle their way through, and that could, like I said, give an opportunity for those guys back there, like you said, Justin and Colby, to slip their way through if there's a mistake, or at worst, if there's an accident. So.
Well, we have seen a few close calls. We definitely saw an exciting start to this race going into turn 1. We'll see if the blimp can get position for the restart. And while we're waiting for him to come around, folks, don't forget to come back tomorrow night, 7 Eastern, as Home Motorsports playoffs continue. 2 races left to go, and Mark Nelson may lock up the title tomorrow night. And, of course, right after that, the Unicorn leads the convoy. Any ATS truckers are welcome to join us, as here they come into that final chicane. And I think the green actually flies halfway through. It does. Green is in the air. Boy, that's a wonky place for the green flag to fly.
It is a scary place, especially when you try and power through that little kink right there. Oh, and Adrian's around again.
Oh, he gets a few taps. Looks like gets checked up. Clay had nowhere to go.
But it looks like Cameron capitalized on it. He's already up to 2nd.
Holy cow, Cameron's on the move.
Yep, like I said, I think him and Alberto are definitely my picks to win today. But I right now, with what I'm seeing out of Cameron, I have a feeling he's going to be seeing victory lane today. But we'll see. Hopefully, Alberto can hold him off.
Well, it's definitely going to be an interesting one. So far, we have seen issues with Eric W., Fern Spring, Vic Brown on this restart. We'll take a look after this lap. Ryan McDaniel got back to the lead lap and is already up to 14th. Wow, what a drift and a save coming out onto the banking.
Yeah, I just saw that one right there. Looks like Cody's behind him on the inside now.
But man, what a save for Ryan. Fern Spring has had another issue. There's problems in the bus stop.
Several problems.
As Alberta and Fern Spring has gone to pit road, Swamsky has had a problem. And Alberta will take the will lead the first lap after the restart. Let's take a look back at some of the early issues. Eric W. back behind. Oh, looks like
we got him.
Eric got a bump coming across the start-finish line, sent to the infield. That kind of hurt.
Yeah, I was about to say, we just had a little bit of an incident there across the start-finish line involving David Lux and a few other cars, too.
Ooh! Out of turn 4, Vern just got too much of the curbing, and he gets bumped around. Then there was the incident with Vic Brown. Moments later, Vern had got it gathered up at that point. It is right behind Vic. No, Vern happens right behind. Vern looks like he taps Vic as he goes through, and they all get it saved. A wild start, or wild restart rather. We didn't even get them all. We'll take a look here in a minute at some more incidents. Let me... This many cars on the Roval, things, they get a little bound up and things get exciting very quickly. They spread out, then they come back together.
Yeah, you can especially get everybody spread out, come back together, and you get different cars at different speeds throughout the pack because the whole pit strategy is a little bit different. So you'll see that sort of thing where you sometimes might get a fast car coming up on a slow car and you get a little incident like that. But we're about to get a battle up here up at the front because it looks like Cameron is closing in pretty quickly on Alberto. Coming in here through the infield.
He definitely is. I have noticed Cameron takes that turn onto the back straightaway a lot deeper than anybody else. He goes right to the walls on all these turns, carries a lot more momentum on exit than pretty much everybody else.
Oh, no, definitely. He is on the move right now, but Alberto is also doing a good job staying consistent, being up front. We'll just see if he can hold Cameron off here.
Gets down to the final laps. Anything can happen. It may come down to a situation with tire wear. Let's take a look at a couple more incidents that have happened in the last few moments. We got another incident with Vern Spring as he's headed out toward the banking. Looks like he just overshot and pulled off. Mentioned Justin Swafford had an incident. He was battling with Tyler Ott coming down to the bus stop. Ott on the brakes very early, and holy cow, Swafford just completely misses the bus stop. Then Clay has an incident a moment later. Clay coming out of turn 4 on the brakes, just starts sliding into that final chicane. He does get it wound up, but gets a little bit of the grass there. And Swafford gets stopped up top, and David Lux had an incident you mentioned as well, right behind Clay. There's Lux coming through, slips by Clay. He gets into Whipple. Swafsky has nowhere to go. They all stack up. And, you know... One car makes a mistake, depending on how big the group is behind or how fast they recover, it could involve quite a few more.
Yeah, it not only involves quite a few more, but sometimes this, even if cars are not necessarily close to that incident, they're close to other cars, they can just see that and they can make their own little mistake and hit another car and cause a whole different separate incident right close to that other one. As we see here, though, Cameron is really closing in on Alberto coming into turn 1.
Yeah, we've seen a couple of close calls in turn 1 battling for position, and a couple of times where one driver, Cameron, looks to the inside.
Very close move there. We'll see if he can get him. I think he's going to try and get him coming back onto the Roval, or come back onto the NASCAR Oval. We'll see what he does.
It's definitely a close fight, and a lot of times it just comes down to who breaks first, who has the confidence or the guts, in some cases, to just push the car that much forward, that much further in a braking zone. There, you're right, he's got the run. He had a couple miles an hour in speed coming into the banking. This is going to be close.
He might try and make a move here, but it'd be a little bit brave to make a move in this chicane right here, especially this early in the race.
My man.
I think he's going to wait possibly for Alberto to make a mistake. If I was in Cameron's shoes, I know I don't have a 6500 iRating, but if I was in Cameron's shoes, I would maybe wait for Alberto to make a little more serious of a slip up before making a move in a turn like that.
Well, Jordan Wenzel had a problem a moment ago. He is going to pit road. His night may be done. Let's take a quick look. There's Jordan, looks like coming into turn one. That's where he had problems early on in the race. Smacks the wall, keeps it going, but out at 2 on the power, it snaps around, backs into the wall. A moment later, Eric has a problem. He comes through that final chicane, just completely misses the braking point and full sends it. And then he ends up in the wall, and then a moment later, Ryan McDaniel in the bus stop on the back straightaway. Just on the power, on the banking, another place where even 1% too much power can cause a problem. Definitely seeing some unexpected problems here tonight, Patrick.
I was a little surprised to see Jordan make those mistakes after running so many laps and running so well in practice. But as I mentioned earlier, that sector coming out of turn 1 and coming through 2 into the infield, it is like a funnel. And if you make one mistake, you're off the wall. If you spin out, you're coming into a wall. It is claustrophobic. But as we see here, we got Cameron still battling Alberto coming into turn 1. He's came close a few times, has made a few threats, but he's not made the pass yet.
Back in third, Kirk Marble still holds it and is pulling away from 4th place, Adrian. Tyler Ott has had a great run in 5th. Not one you'd expect to be this far up on the road racing, but man, a great run for him. Richard Cragen also sneaking his way up in 6th. We saw Swalford have a couple of incidents, has dropped back to 7th.
I was going to say, Ott and Cragen are both, they're not I wouldn't call them the fastest road course racers, but they're also very consistent. I saw a lot of consistency out of both of them in the Street Stock Challenge Leagues when we run the Roval races. Ott was always consistent, but he always ran into trouble with other people taking him out. So we'll see if he can just keep his cool here and maybe come home with a top 5.
It definitely would be awesome. Jacob Morgan, despite the issues we've seen him have, is up to 8th of 9 spots with Cody Kennedy right behind. Cody is closing in, and he brings Clay Kirchenbauer in 10th with him. We've seen Clay have a few incidents here tonight, but Clay, as he goes by to take 9th, Clay still has some damage to the front of his car, but he's one of those drivers, the longer they're on tires, the faster he gets somehow. He is definitely good on old tires. And last but not least, big mover Jake Riette up 7 spots into 11th, and Aaron Brill up 7 spots into 14th. He's also moving forward.
Yep, still got a battle up here at the front, it looks like. I thought Cameron was going to make a move there coming into the infield, but he backed off again.
I did
still hanging tight on Alberto's bumper, though.
You have to wonder if he's just trying to force the car ahead to make a mistake. You see that a lot of times. We mentioned it with Swafford earlier. He'll sit on your bumper on a track like this. He very rarely makes a mistake, but he will sit on your bumper until you get so paranoid you make a mistake. Although these guys, they're such a higher level that they may not. It may not be an intimidation factor having a car run on your bumper.
No, Alberto's got ice in his veins, especially with, like I said, a 6,500 iRating driver breathing down his neck trying to take the lead. Good job to him. One thing I'm seeing here out of Cameron, coming into that final chicane, he is dipping his right side wheels into the grass under braking, which I don't usually try and go out that far, but he's going into the grass and he's still trying to make it, and he's still pulling off, keeping control through that final chicane coming towards the finish line. So I'm very surprised at that.
Yeah.
I'm watching from my blimp view right now, and that is very remarkable to me.
That is a gutsy move because that is so slick right there. And the grass no longer cools the
Now
tires.
they got the lap car of Ryan McDaniel in the way, so let's see if this plays a factor here. And it looks like they're going to get by him safely, but still, he's getting right to his bumper there. Ooh, very close.
Cameron got to the inside. It looked like he was going to try and make the move, just not enough room with Ryan there. Does look like Cameron is pushing the issue. He's looking low.
He's going to make the move here, I think. He's got the bumper on him. He's got a fender up to his door now, so I think he's going to take the lead here coming into the chicane.
Yeah, I think you're right. Depends on who brakes first, and it is Alberto first on the brakes. And Cameron goes back to the lead, but Alberto fights back out of the chicane.
And this could be interesting here because that's the ideal spot coming into this turn. So we'll see what Alberto does. If he's going to brake later, if he's going to let Cameron take the lead, and I think he's going to go ahead and he's going to yield his position to Cameron.
Wow.
Exciting little run there. Oh, and Alberto's around. Oh no.
Oh, on the power, Alberto goes around Aaron Brill, Brian Hewitt.
It looks like Kirk Marble's going to take second out of that.
Holy cow. Alberto is rolling again, but back in third, and now is Adrian to his bumper. Well, that just shook up the top five just a smidge. Cameron now has a 7.7 second lead over Kirk Marble. Let's take a look at a couple of incidents on the last couple laps. Starting with David Lux, again having problems coming into that final chicane. That has bit so many drivers here tonight. Just overshooting that second turn. Goes through the grass, gets the slowdown. Brian Hewitt looks like he had the same problem coming through there, but gets it back up to speed. Let's see if he gets it through turn. No, he overshoots turn one as well and just buries it in the wall. Aaron Brill coming out of that final chicane across the start-finish line. Into turn one, he gets lead, cuts low to avoid the car stopped on the high side. And then, of course, Alberto's incident a moment ago. Alberto backs out of that early, probably anticipating getting a better run out, but when he gets on the power, his left sides were still in the air and it sent him around. And that is kind of heartbreaking. Alberto now 11.5 seconds behind the leader.
Yeah, he's still at a good points position for the night, but he is still behind the leader now, Kirk Marble, who's leading the championship. So with Kirk in second, Cameron's in first. Cameron's got a win already on the season. Cameron hasn't ran the full slate of races with us this year, but he did win at Daytona. So even if he could pull off a victory here tonight, and if he decided to want to run more of the schedule, he could be in the championship hunt because he is a very skilled driver. You can just tell that out of the number 39 car right now.
Yeah, definitely can. Alberto in third is closing. Back in on second place, Kirk Marble. Justin Swafford back in sixth. We noted he had several problems, lost some ground. He is closing rapidly on Tyler Ott. Tyler just 2.25 seconds back. But again, Tyler having one heck of a run here tonight regardless. And Clay Kirchenbauer's comeback is underway as he is now up to 8th and Alberto's on pit road. Likely his final stop.
Yeah, we got about, like I said, a 15 to 17 lap window, so you're going to be seeing a lot more cars coming into pit road right now.
Man, if it were me, I think I'd want to stretch that extra lap, but if he knows he can do it, you might as well. Plus, with the laps under caution, they didn't actually get the green flag till about 19 to go, so he conserved enough fuel under pace laps. He should easily be able to do it from here with minimal risk.
Yeah, no. If you can pit now, even if even if it is kind of iffy a little bit, it's not too hard to fuel save at a track like this. I mean, as long as if you're in the front, obviously you want to make sure that you're 100% safe on fuel because you want to keep pressing. But also too, there is quite a gap though between Cameron in first place and fifth place Tyler Ott. We got a 41-second gap. So if any of those guys wanted to come in, the top 5 wanted to come in soon to pit, they would be very safe on fuel because they would definitely be able to save away even if they had to. So.
Well, not only that, a 40-second gap on a lap that takes about a minute and 20 seconds. So you're basically half a lap as Kirk Marble gives up second. He is coming in, moving Adrian down to second. Man, they have to be very, very careful on pit road here. Coming off turn 3, you're pushing it. I have seen countless drivers push just 1% too much, and because of where that final chicane is, where the pit road entry and the pit road wall is, it would not be the first time we have seen a car hit that pit road wall coming in. This is the last time that somebody could make a huge race-ending mistake.
Yeah, you definitely want to get the car woed up properly before you come in here, because if you make any mistakes either speeding or if you get in an accident, your race is over. But I really think right now with how it's looking, Cameron's got this race on lock as long as he can nail his next pit stop, not get any penalties, and drive smooth the rest of the way. I think he's got this one.
Yeah, but one mistake would definitely tighten the race up. I don't know that it would cost him the race, but it would definitely bring things closer together, and that could also put Alberto back in the fight. With Alberto having completed his pit stop. Now Adrian is coming in second. Back behind Kirk Marble, Bradley James, Ryan McDaniel, Cody Kennedy have all come in. Alberto in third, may actually reclaim second here. Kirk Marble back in third. Both drivers have completed their pit stops. Alberto gained a lot of ground on pit road.
It looks like Tyler Ott is also on pit road. Looks like he's, before that though, looks like Justin Swafford had reclaimed 5th place from Tyler for that pit stop that Tyler just made.
Alberto Alvarez took fuel only, as did Adrian. That's a really gutsy call.
It's a gutsy call, but with the fuel percentage here, I think if they can just keep, as long as especially Alberto doesn't have any more spins and lights up the tires, I think it'll be okay. Because sometimes you can, it's a risk sometimes to not take tires on road courses, but with a skilled enough driver, I really think that they can make it the rest of the way. I know last year at Sonoma, I want to say on my last stop before I didn't win, I didn't take any tires just because I wanted to make sure I cut my pit road time down as much as I could, and that paid off as well. So it could be, it's a risk-reward thing, but like I said, I think that the reward could pay off for some of these guys because they could keep that time up and they could keep their lap times about the same.
Well, Kirk Marble back in third, him and Adrian duking it out for that position, but Kirk does have fresh tires. Adrian does not. In fact, Kirk is the only driver in the top 4 who has completed his stop that has taken tires. I have to wonder how much of an effect is fresh tires going to have late in the race, especially with the track starting to cool down.
Yeah, no, I just looked at that and it looks like it's definitely dropped a few degrees since the last time I checked. It's down to 95 degrees Fahrenheit now. I'm looking right now, I just see Cameron make his move through some lap traffic, the chicane on the back straight.
Yeah, that was close.
Yeah. No, I was going to say that definitely plays a factor, but I think that also could play a role in the decision of some of the guys who are choosing not to take tires.
It definitely could. I see what you're saying about Cameron dipping those tires into the grass now. Alberto in second is gaining ground, but he is 37 seconds back. Kirk Marble on those fresh tires has pulled away from Adrian now. He is 1.4 seconds ahead. And right now, Kirk Marble is the fastest car in the top 4. Actually, he is the fastest car on track at the moment.
Yeah, as you recall, though, Cameron did top off during the caution. Did cost him a few spots, but he gained him right back. So I think he's able to stretch his fuel, maybe just a little bit more than some of those other guys who are running up in front. But I probably would expect Cameron to be pitting the next lap or two to get it going for the rest of the way.
And the question really becomes now, Alberto will gain a lot of ground on him. Cameron almost has the decision made for him. He's going to have to take fuel only to hold on to his position. If he doesn't, he is going to lose some ground. Clay now on pit road. But Cameron is definitely going to have to do a fuel only stop, and he should be in just any time. And
he's staying out still.
Wow.
Yeah, but like I said, he's got to be pitting this next lap. I can only imagine that he's starting to run on fumes, because that was around, I think, lap 17 that he came into pit. So he's got to be really stretching right now. But also with a 37.5 second gap, I think that he might actually be able to take tires and stay in the safe zone.
He might be able to, but he stopped on lap 15, so he is really stretching the fuel out here. That's 18 laps, some of them under caution, but and the fact that he has gotten into heavier lap traffic could be a consideration. The sooner he gets in, the better off he's going to be. But if I'm Cameron, I'm thinking about getting tires. Kirk Marble is still closing in on Alberto, although Adrian has found a little more speed. And Swafford gives up fifth. He is in. And look who's in seventh. Jade Briette has started making his move to the front. Starting to see some names up here in the top 10 you really wouldn't expect. Some of those due to pit stops, but some of those are just guys that have been picking up spots. And Cameron gives up the lead. He is in. Ryan McDaniel, Clay Kirchenbauer, David Lux have had problems.
Yeah, we'll see here if Cameron's going to take tires. It'll be an interesting thing. It'll be an interesting choice if he doesn't, or if he doesn't.
Let's see what he does. Then we'll take a look at these three incidents. David Lux has towed to pit road. His race likely over. And Cameron he is taking tires. He is up for right.
Mark call.
All right, let's take a look at some of these incidents in the last few moments. There's Ryan McDaniel down the back straightaway, coming into that section that we have seen. He gets a little bobble coming up, and then on the power over the top, just turns him into the wall. He does get rolling again. Clay right behind, coming down. Oh, a little brake lock up into the bus stop. You lock those brakes up, you just go straight. He has to give back the time. And finally, David Lux, who appears this ended his race. Lux into the bus stop. He just went extremely wide and then slid to a stop outside the bus stop. Interesting turn of events.
Huh. A little bit of a surprise.
Yeah, he was actually on the power on his way out as Jay Briette is in for his stop.
It looks like it was a wise call for Cameron to take 4 tires. It looks like he's still got about 4 or 5 seconds there, probably. I'm not quite sure what it is, but we'll see what it is here coming to the line on Alberto Alvarez.
5.8 seconds at the moment over Alberto. And Alberto has gotten back past Kirk Marble. Ryan McDaniel just slid through the final chicane. That was wild. Just
I gotta say, Ryan's got a very pretty car. It is a beautiful car.
Is that one you painted?
Yeah, it's my teammate car. I got the hot dog car. He's got the Pepsi car. As soon as I get off my butt, I'm gonna paint Brian a pizza car. If there's any willing participants in the C12 League, I could do a turkey bake car. I could do a Sunday car. I mean, there's endless possibilities there with that pizza.
Cameron is back into lap traffic up front with 10 laps to go. It'll be coming to 9 to go now. And man, This one is really, we've seen a little bit of everything out here tonight.
Oh no, we have. It's been a pretty exciting race because, like I said, I was a little bit surprised to see Cameron, like I said, on that restart, kind of dip back, but he's just held his ground and he's been able to come right back up to the front. With 10 laps to go, I still think he's going to be a solid bet to win this race, but you never know.
Hey, good evening, Songbird. How are you? And you're not going to believe this. Cameron just set the fastest lap of the race so far. With the track temperature cooling down and him on 4 fresh Goodyears, though.
Man, a 123. That is a blazing fast lap.
It really is. But now here's the interesting thing. I can see how many off tracks they have had. I cannot see how many incidents they've had, but Cameron has had 10 off tracks, and we do know that there is an incident limit that'll get him a black flag, so drivers do, late in this thing, need to be thinking about that.
They do, but also, I mean, at least from what I'm looking at here on my numbers, because I'm able to see some incidents, I don't think anybody's really close to the limit. The only car that is close is going to be Eric Walkoliak with 29 incidents. I believe the 30X limit is in effect, so once you get to 30, will get a drive-through penalty, and every 10 after that, you're going to get another drive-through.
Actually, I believe it was every 28. It was adjusted tonight. It was every, the first 28 and then 12 after that. And it looks like Eric may have just completed his drive-through. He's just coming back off pit road. He was there for an extended amount of time. So I think he took his penalty and might have taken some repairs at the same time.
Yeah, like I said, they got those 2 fast repairs tonight, so he could have used up his second one. I know he used one earlier on his first stop.
Yeah, and he's had a couple of incidents here tonight. He's definitely had a rough night, but you got to give him credit. He's still in the fight, and it's keeping him up in 17. A good run tonight for him.
Oh, indeed.
Checking the points. He's actually 20th in points, tied with Aaron Brill. And only about 8 points out of the top 16. So he's got a lot of ground that he could make up. And looking at some of the drivers not here tonight, like William Ant Jr. not here tonight. Jacob Gibson not here tonight. Oh.
I know Edmund's not here tonight. I'm here tonight, but I'm just not
You're
here.
not in the car.
I'm not. I think I was somewhere around 7th in points tonight. Like I said, I was really hoping for tonight to be a good points night, but it just wasn't meant to be. Sometimes I feel like with these road races in this league, it's not meant to be. I've had power outages. I've had other funny stuff happen. But like I said, I'm glad to be here in the booth with you, Doug.
Well, you know who's going to make the biggest jump in points tonight? 17th place Cameron, who's just dominating tonight. Yeah, he's going to make a huge jump in points. And Eric has had another problem back behind. And he's having a rough night. Let's take a quick look. There's Eric. Looks like turning up the hill. And just overshoots on the power. And oh man, his left front wheel is just broke. It is locked completely up. Probably broke the A-arm, it looks like. Eric needs to get some. I think maybe Ryan McDaniel is trying to pass his bad luck off and giving it to Eric. That's my best bet.
Yeah, he hasn't had a whole lot of luck tonight. I think, like I said, I think he might have used his last fast repair on that last pit stop.
Likely has. Looking back through here, Justin Swafford still holds on to 5th, Clay in 6th.
And we're a little loose back there. I don't know if you saw that.
No, but I just realized Clay Kirchhammer in 6th just went a lap down. Tells you how fast Cameron's going around here. Only 5 cars left on the lead lap.
Yeah, he just went past Clay with 6 laps to go. I don't know if he's going to be able to get Swafford, but I mean, Cameron is just putting on a clinic tonight.
He definitely is. Swafford is about 20 seconds ahead. Last time by, Cameron about 2 seconds a lap faster, so anything's possible here. Eric has had another problem. I think he finally did get it to pit road. But a heartbreaking night for Eric.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because Eric's actually been running fairly consistent this year.
He definitely has, and hopefully once he did really well in the Street Stock Series. So hopefully once the Street Stock Series returns in 3 weeks, I believe.
Yeah, it's going to be in a few weeks here. Like I said, I should hopefully be working on the schedule probably in the next couple of days because I was supposed to get on it a few days ago. So, but I actually just wanted to give a shout out though to Eric and also Richard Cragen too. I know that they're both carryovers that joined the C12 League from the Street Stock and now they're running the next gen. So just want to thank them for keeping up their participation here. I'm just watching Richard Cragen back here personally. He's back here in 8th. Solid run for him. He was very solid in the Street Stock Series when we run the Roval races. Wasn't always running up in the very front, but he was always hanging back out there, like right behind the top 3, always running consistent. So good job for him tonight in 8th place, right behind Tyler Ott.
Definitely a great run for him, and a great run for another newcomer, Jade Briette, who's currently in 10th place, up 8 spots. Jade has definitely made a name for himself since joining C12. He is definitely fast in a lot of different places. Now he has to fend off Cody Kennedy. Cody looks to the high side. Cody is a extremely good road racer, but Jade's making him work for it.
Yeah, I was going to say Jade's the other name that I was going to mention along with Richard and Eric that joined C12 through the Street Stock Series, and now they're here with us in the next gen. He's also running very consistent. As you see here, Cody passing him on the NASCAR Oval, coming into the chicane here. Cody also really good. He's a really good, solid road racer. Cody's really fun in general to race with. He hasn't been running too much this season with the C12 League because he's got a new job, I guess. It's keeping him a little bit busy on weeknights. But I've raced with him plenty in the SMR leagues that he broadcasts on Sunday nights, and Cody's always a lot of fun to race with.
Yeah, rumor has it because of the new job and the new schedule, looks like he will be returning to racing, I believe, this Sunday morning with GT3 NSS. So you guys show up at 11 Eastern. Make sure you tune in for that. That's going to be a lot of fun. And Ryan keeps saying he's going to come back and race. Could get the whole crew there before long. We've got enough great road racers in this league, and I know NSS would love to have them.
Yeah, like I said, one of these days I'm going to set my alarm and, be a little bit more ready, I guess you could say, on a Sunday morning that early, because like I said, I'm a little bit of a heavy sleeper sometimes. Well, I take that back. I'll sleep in heavy, but it's just I have a hard time. I have a hard time falling asleep, so sometimes at night I need a little bit of persuasion to help fall asleep, and it doesn't always make racing in the mornings easier. But,
I can understand that.
When I was, I don't really run a whole lot of officials. I really enjoy running. Really enjoy running in league races these days. But back when I was running officials, I was really interested in officials. I was waking up at about 8 o'clock on Sunday mornings, and this is when the Formula Renault 2.0 was still a series on iRacing. I'd wake up at 8 o'clock, I'd practice for an hour, and I'd run my first official at 9 o'clock. If I scored good enough points then, I'd call it quits. If it wasn't good enough, I'd run the next race at I think it was 11 o'clock, and then I'd run to the next one at 1 o'clock. That one didn't go well. So, waking up Sunday mornings wouldn't be new to me, especially to do road course stuff. But that's when that crowd in Europe is up, man.
For us, it definitely is.
That's the evening time for them, so they're out racing.
I can definitely tell you there was a time, the first 2 years of HTSAI, where we had a weekly schedule, and Tuesday mornings we'd get up and do a bunch of dirt stuff. Wednesday we'd do ovals. Thursday we'd do some road racing, and I'd get up and get started at like 8, 9 o'clock my time and be racing till 3 or 4 in the afternoon. And yeah, it was good times, but broadcasting took off, and there's so much more work that goes with that than anybody else knows.
I can only imagine.
I don't get to do as much as I used to. Oh, Ryan has confirmed he will be there for NSS Sunday morning. And it looks like Ryan may officially be out of the race. He is texting and driving. Oh my!
I don't know how some of these guys can do that, man.
I don't know either. I guess they're using voice to text, but man. I do get a laugh. Sometimes I'll get a driver that texts me or that's commenting during a race, giving me play-by-play updates, and I'm like, how are you doing this? Stop texting and driving.
Well, my thing is I'm usually in the Discord with these guys when we're racing, and they're talking about the broadcast and people saying things. I'm like, how are you able to drive and also pay attention to the broadcast and what people are saying, man? I can't do that. I've got like a one-track mind, so I just got to focus on what I'm doing.
It took me forever when I first started streaming to learn how to drive and read comments. That's the biggest thing. But here we go. Cameron gets the white flag as a 12.5+ second lead over Alberto. Kirk Marble still holds on to third. Adrian 3.3 seconds back and fourth. Swavsky in fifth. Clay currently runs in sixth. Richard Cragen in seventh. Tyler Ott, Colby Whipple, Cody Kennedy round out the top 10. Jade Briette in 11th. Jacob Morgan had a great run tonight in 12th. Aaron Brill up 8 spots into 13. We've had some guys really come out and get it done here tonight.
Oh, we certainly have. This has been a pretty fun race to call and fun race to watch you, Doug.
No, it definitely has been, and here we go. Cameron coming down the back straightaway into the final into the bus stop rather. Comes out of the bus stop, headed into NASCAR 3 and 4 for the final time. Goes by a lap car on the high side.
Like Vic Brown.
Yeah, it looks like Vic Brown. And into the final chicane, Cameron has been nothing but dominant all night long and untouchable. Cameron will pull off the win at the Roval.
Yeah, he was my pick to win tonight, and he did a good job there, Cameron.
Alberto coming home in second place, and what a comeback after the problems Alberto had right at the start. Kirk Marble comes home in third place. Adrian will come home in fourth, and Swafford in fifth. Clay will come home the first car, one lap down in sixth. And let's see if we can talk to our top three.
I just gave them a little bit of a reminder, so hopefully they listen to me.
Let's start with Kirk Marble. Kirk, congratulations. I know I've seen you race a lot of road courses and know you know how to get it done, but a third place finish here tonight, given the competition, really impressive.
Yeah, I say those first two were in their own zip code. I say I was just trying to have a good, decent race, have no problems, stay away from those blue curbs, and watch out for those bicycle brakes that these cars have.
I have to say, Adrian really made you work for it a few times.
I say, yeah, him and I had a great battle. I say, if I think he had a few people getting his way. If that didn't happen, it would have been even closer between the two of us.
Well, you're back on the podium, buddy. Great job tonight. Congratulations.
Hey, good job, Kirk.
Thanks, Doug. Oh, thanks, Pat.
You're welcome.
Let's see. I do not see Alberto available, but we do have our winner. Patrick, I'll let you. You picked him. You interview him, buddy.
All right, sounds good. Yeah, well, as soon as he gets in here, I'll give him a talk. How you doing, Cameron? Good job on the win today here at the Roval.
Hey, thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Yeah, that was fun. A lot of work as well.
A lot of work, but you looked like you were in your own zip code there. Looks like you had a 13.5 second lead there over Alberto, but honestly, you were my pick to win today. I was talking with Doug earlier in the race. When we were in a practice session yesterday, I haven't been able to run, so I didn't turn any laps. But I saw your lap time, and I was just curious, so I pulled up your statistics. You have a 6,500 road I rating. Where did that come from? Where did that come from? Because I have people telling me I'm the road alien in the league, and I have a 3,000 I rating, and I'm like, that's not that much. And I'm like, there's an alien right there.
A lot of time and a lot of seat time, man. You know, I think that's why I kind of like running this oval stuff here, and even this car too on a road course. It's such a challenge and so different from what I normally drive. So it was a lot of fun, and trying to figure out, you know, it's ins and outs, and trying to figure out like the braking, trying to, and like steering and steering was kind of a suggestion, I would say. But you know, it was yeah, I'll say 6,500 I rating was definitely a lot of time, a lot of energy, and a lot of just seat time mostly.
Well, as a fellow road racer, I'm just curious, what series do you usually run with road courses?
Yeah, I love the GT4 category at the moment, so that's what I love to run.
I'm a fan of the Aston Martin personally.
See, I'm a BMW guy, even though it's a bit of a boat.
It is a little bit of a boat. Those are the only two I've honestly tried.
But once you kind of get the hang of it, you know, and just realize, you know, you're not going to beat people on the brakes, but you're going to get them on down the straights, then it's a formidable weapon, I'll say.
Yeah, no, I haven't ran a whole lot of officials with the GT4. I ran a few endurance races with it. The only official I did run at Laguna Seca went pretty well, just because that's a track that I know off the top of my hand. But the GT4s are really fun cars.
Yeah, definitely. Laguna's a great track. Maybe we should, maybe next time out, we go there with these things.
I don't want to tease it, but we've been talking about doing a GT series with this league early in the season. I don't know if we're doing GT3s or GT4s, but we're gonna be getting those details probably hopefully out soon.
Nice.
But like I said, once again, man, great job just on being so consistent and just running this race so well. I was very impressed.
Thanks, man. Albie was also right on it too, so you got to give him props. He's a weapon in this car as well.
Oh,
so.
no, I definitely believe that, and we'll go ahead and we'll talk with Alberto here since he's here in the Discord. He was also, honestly, he was my second pick here to win tonight because I saw his practice times too. And I mean, like I said, people have called me quick, and then I looked at Alberto's time, and I was like, he's a full second ahead of me in this practice session. So I know you made a few mistakes there early on, Alberto, but how did your race go?
Yeah, well, what can I cannot be like too not happy about a second place.
Yeah.
Like running against someone like Cameron, like you said, like a 6K rating on the road.
Yeah, no, I had guys telling me there's some guys here with grip packs, and I was like, no, they're just really damn good. Trust me. It's hard to get on some of those levels with those guys.
Yeah, to be honest, I was surprised to be so close to him, and like after the first pit stop, I think he came out like he was a bit conservative on the pit, and I came out with I had hot tires and I could go past, but then I knew he was gonna get past me at some point.
Yeah, me and Doug were debating there on whether or not he was going to take tires that pit stop, but he had the time to take them. So as soon as he took them, I mean, he went out there and he set fast lap. But like I said, you know, you did a great job tonight. You've done a great job all season too. You know, you got second place last week. You won it the week before at Iowa. I think this is probably going to move you up into second place in points. And like I said, you've just been doing a great job this season. You know, that from my experience with racing with you in this league in SSRL, just great job. And also, thank you for bringing on you and your team into this league. The participation is much appreciated.
I mean, thank you, and thank you for having us. We have been having pretty good fun racing here, and yeah, it's been a good season so far. Let's see what can I do for the rest.
Yep. All right.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you, Alberto. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. I'm gonna still rest up here a few days. If we have a practice session up this weekend, I might give it a shot, like I kind of did with Richmond with SMR on Sunday. See if I could do it. Just like I said, right for break and try and roll the top and stay out of people's way because it's hard to when you're just so instinctive with left foot braking. It's hard to enter turns like that.
It really is, but great job tonight, buddy. Next week, North Wilkesboro. Hopefully you'll be back in the car, but if not, you're welcome to join me. And I guess we will see you guys tomorrow night, 7 Eastern, Home Motorsports, back on track. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Patrick, thank you for joining me.
Yep, thanks for having me, Doug, and also thanks everybody for tuning in and watching.
All right, everybody, have a great night.